Welcome to ETF Leaders, powered by the New York Stock Exchange. Joining me today is Stephanie Pierce. Stephanie is CEO of NYSE Mellon and ETFs at BNY Mellon. Stephanie, always great to see you. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So now tell me, Stephanie, what is your big focus for this year?
Well, we continue to be focused on meeting our investors' needs with solutions that meet their financial objectives and their investment goals. We're particularly excited to be celebrating this month the 2-year anniversary of our index ETF suite, which has done incredibly well, where investors are really using these products that are at a great value, managed by an institutional quality index team that's been doing this for decades, to meet their beta exposure needs. We're also very excited that over the last 9 months, we've added a whole active suite of 6 ETFs to our lineup. And we're starting to see a lot of interest in those, as well as investors are starting to really look to do core satellite type of portfolios that give them active and passive exposure within the overall portfolio to bring down costs and create greater alpha generation. So that's what we're focused on this year.
Okay, now tell me, how are you looking at ESG right now?
So ESG is a fascinating trend, and it is not going away. We saw continued, accelerating interest last year, and I think the reason for this is investors want to do well, but also do good with their investments for the world that we live in. Put simply, the financial return is necessary, but not sufficient. And specifically what we're excited about is we launched 4 active sustainable ETFs in the last 6 months with 2 different investment specialist firms within BNY Mellon, Newton and Insight. Both of them have a long tenure in ESG investing across many different strategies and vehicles. So this is not a new practice for them. And now we're bringing that into the ETF vehicle for ETF investors. And that gives them not only the opportunity to invest in good companies that are doing the right things and performing well, but also companies that may be improving over time, where you get the upside opportunity of an active manager. So we're really excited to be bringing that to our clients right now.
Okay, so tell me, what are you hearing from institutions, advisors, retail right now?
So there's a lot of dynamics given how quickly the market is evolving. So the first trend I would say to you is at the end of last year, we definitely saw some investors, particularly institutional investors, taking some equity money off the table given the strong gains that we've seen. Now we're starting to see investors look to put that back in the market, particularly on the institutional side. And again, really just trying to time things appropriately, seeing some of the softness. They're really looking to do that, and we think that our beta exposures give them great value, again, great institutional quality to be able to access those markets. A second trend that we're seeing really relates to the uplift in inflation and this expectation now that the Fed is going to raise short-term interest rates more quickly than was previously anticipated. That has led to some pretty strategic conversations about both the short-term fixed income allocation in the portfolio and the cash allocation. And one area that tends to come up in these discussions is ultra-short bond ETFs. And the reason for that is that ultra-short bond ETFs can allow an investor to shorten up duration but not sacrifice a lot of yield. And so for a more strategic cash allocation or for a bond portfolio where you're looking for those goals, kind of greater income, a little bit shorter duration, you don't want to take a lot of additional risk versus a money market fund, ultra-short ETFs, including our own, which is one of the lowest fee in the marketplace, are gaining a lot of traction. And then the final trend I would highlight again is ESG. And this is where investors are voting with their feet. So last year alone, we saw an over 50% increase in ESG ETF assets, and we continue to see accelerating growth this year, and we're seeing that in the interest in our new products as well. One of the things that's really interesting is that, again, women, as an example, really want, and we did a whole study on this, really want not only the financial return, but they want those products and the investments to align with their values. And we're seeing that with many demographics, whether they be young investors, women investors. And so I think that trend is here to stay. So we're really excited to continue those conversations with our new strategies as well.
Okay. All right. Well, Stephanie, always great to talk with you. And that's ETF Leaders, powered by the New York Stock Exchange.